Hi, I wanted to talk to you today about Proposition 19 in California and effort to legalize marijuana. There's a lot of people that are for it, a lot of people that are against it, and each side that supports or opposes it has their reasons and so on and so forth. I want to tell you why I support it. First off, I have to tell you, I have never once used an illegal substance, marijuana, opiate, speed, and I've never used an illegal drug ever. And I still support Proposition 19. And I want to tell you why. I believe in a concept called self ownership. And self ownership entails that nobody has a greater claim over me or my body than I do. All right? That means what I choose to eat, drink, how I choose to live, as long as those choices don't directly and negatively impact someone else against their will. All right? So, Proposition 19, an effort to legalize marijuana in California, would return an important right over self that the government has taken away from us with the illegalization of marijuana and other drugs. All right? So, as far as I'm concerned, that's a step in the right direction. And a state like California passing that sets an important precedent for the rest of the nation should California manage to pull it off. Okay, and it's not just about a return of civil liberties. It's also a smart financial decision. The state of California estimates that legalization of marijuana will pump anywhere from 10 to $20 billion in a year into their economy. And at last I read, California is suffering from a $20 billion budget deficit. That makes pretty good math sense to me, and I'm not a real smart guy with math. But that's just California, okay? Let's talk about, there's 49 other states, and people smoke reefer in all 49 other states. There's opportunities for governments and municipalities to provide licenses to people to grow and distribute marijuana. The tax from the sale of marijuana, and God knows it taxed to death things like cigarettes and alcohol. So this evil heir at marijuana, is going to get hit with that heavy nanny state tax. So there's all these opportunities just from legalization to provide additional revenues for states and the federal government. Moreover, all right, while marijuana is illegal, and I'm just going to stick with marijuana right now, while marijuana is illegal, all right, it keeps the street cost of marijuana higher. And since it's only criminals who are selling it, then it keeps criminal elements richer. All right? Moreover, when someone is busted for a nonviolent, drug-related offense, they go to jail. Who pays for that? We do. We do. The imprisonment costs for nonviolent drug offenders picked up by us. All offenders, but in particular, I'm concerned about nonviolent drug offenders here. People who shouldn't be in jail. At any rate, there's another facet to this is if they make marijuana illegal in California, then Californians can grow industrial hemp. Whether or not they want to use marijuana or, get some of that cannabis, they can still grow and sell products made from industrial hemp. Now, I'd encourage you to research online just exactly how powerful a cash cow hemp can be. Fibers, textiles, oils. Okay, hemp is an amazing crop. All right, so that opens up yet another opportunity to increase production in our states and for our country, increase exports. And, the hemp products that we buy from other countries, we don't have to buy them from other countries anymore. We can buy homegrown stuff made right here in the United States that's putting Americans to work to produce the stuff. This is a holistic, good idea. All right? The only thing I can think of is that there are going to be some people who, morally or philosophically opposed to the legalization of marijuana for their own reasons. And that's okay. But I think with regards to freedom entails people doing things that we may not agree with. Take, for instance, this group, this church that goes to protest at dead soldiers and Marines' funerals. I find what they do abhorrent. I hate it. I can't stand it. I think it's disgusting. But there's a concept here at risk if we're blinded by our own personal emotions and sentimentalities, okay? Or sentiments, sorry. What that is the infringement upon freedom of speech, all right? I read somewhere that if you don't love freedom of speech for everybody, then you don't love freedom of speech, all right? I look at it like this way. If I support an effort to reduce or infringe upon those people's freedom of speech, then I'm at risk for the same thing should I happen to, support an issue or a cause that certain groups find offensive or whatever. That's not something I'm willing to open myself up for. That's not something you should be willing to open yourself up for. All right, so folks, we have to keep the eye on the prize here, all right? The prize is freedom. And it can't be freedom as I dictate to anybody or as they dictate to me. It has to be freedom. It has to be liberty. And I have to respect someone else exercising their own liberty, even if I don't like it or approve of it. Because it's not my business what a person does to themselves or does with themselves or what they say, so long as it doesn't negatively impact me directly. All right? That's where their freedom ends. My freedom ends where another man's nose begins. I read that one too somewhere. So anyways, I support Prop 19. I think it's a move in the right direction for a return of civil liberties, an acknowledgement of self-ownership, and I also think that it's a fantastically brilliant financial decision for California, and after California, the nation. I've stated why, and I'd love to hear your comments, and we can have some, debate and everything. If we disagree, that's great. I can agree to disagree, and I won't disrespect you or say nasty things if you happen to disagree with me. And I'll encourage you, please, to do the same. We can speak intelligently as adults, and not lower ourselves by getting into some kind of mudslinging. But anyways, up for debate. What do you guys think? Hope to hear from you. Have a good weekend.